Alright guys, in this video I am going to show you how to use a compass and a straight edge to copy an angle. So copy a given angle. So the first thing we need to do is start with a given angle. This can be any angle you want. I'm going to make it not too acute. So acute means small, right? I want it to be big enough that we can see what I'm doing with it. But you'll see how this method works for any angle. So let's start then. I'm going to just draw a couple segments up here, and we're going to copy it. So there's the base, and then there's the angle. So this will be, I'll call this the angle A. Remember, in our text, the angle is built out of actually, if I'm going to call it A, I should actually name this something like BAC in this case. So this is angle BAC. In our text, they don't use this symbol for angle. They just use the angle without the swipe through it. But sometimes I get confused about that, so I'm going to leave it with the swipe in there. And I want to copy this angle, okay? Now, we don't care, actually, about these points A, B, and C. We care about A because A is the vertex of the angle. Sometimes this is just referred to as angle A, okay? And so we do care about the vertex. We do not care about B and C. I just put those there because that's how our book has built angles thus far. So I want to copy this. So the first thing I need is I need to draw a base. Now, the angle, remember, it's just an opening, right? It's an opening between two rays. And there is nothing stopping us from like rotating this. We just want to copy the opening. It doesn't matter if the opening is somehow parallel to this angle. So if either of the rays are parallel to this one, that's not the question, okay? The question is just to copy the opening of the angle. So I'm out of focus here because I've been moving around too much. Hopefully when I draw this, it'll go back in focus. So I am going to, just for the sake of this drawing, I am going to create my base of my new angle to be not even close to parallel to the old one. And that is not a requirement, okay? That is just, I'm going to put an arrow here too, so that I know this is going to be my vertex. But this is just to show how this process works, regardless of the orientation of your ray. Okay, now I need a compass. So the next thing I'm going to do, I can open the compass to any opening. It needs to be open, not, I would say open enough that you can work with it. So it needs to be opened, you know, a little bit. So you don't want it to be too small, right? But it's open, like this is probably good. And then the only other thing is that you don't want it to be too wide so that it goes outside of the realm of these rays that we've got drawn. It's not a big issue, but you would have to extend the rays. And anytime you have to start like extending rays or adding to things that are already drawn, you run the risk of messing up the picture, okay? So I'm going to make this open wide enough that it's going to be able to be worked with, but not too wide that it goes outside of the realm of these rays that I've already created. So I'm going to go back to pretty close to what I had before. Now what you do is you make an arc, a swipe of an arc, that cuts both of the rays. It's very important that it cuts both rays, all right? And at this point, I have this fancy compass that has the turn wheel, so I have not changed the setting. If you have a compass that you squeeze or pull, you know, out to set the radius, do not squeeze at this point. This is a do not squeeze moment, okay? You want to copy that exact same radius of an arc, the exact same radius of arc that you just drew at your new vertex. So you put the point at the new vertex and you swipe, and you have to swipe at least as far as this one went up here. So notice I made it go a little bit further, and it's enough further that I can tell with my eye, okay? At this point, you're going to have to change the radius, so now you can squeeze. All right, what you do now is you set the point at one end, one intersection. So this is the intersection of the arc I made with the base. It's not at B, it's close to B, It's where the arc hits, okay? And I'm going to set the other, the pencil end. It doesn't matter which end you choose here. This is just to set the radius, but I'm going to set the pencil end to go through the other intersection, okay? And as I do this, I have to make mine a little bit smaller, depending on your choice of your angle and your arc setting. You might have to make yours a little bit larger. But at this point, I'm now, all you can see is my hand, but I'm now going to make a swipe that goes right through there. So that swipe was made with the pointed end, so the needle end down here, and the pencil then swiped, and it's you can only get so close with this, but it's pretty close to going right through that intersection point. Don't squeeze, okay? Don't squeeze. You now take the point down to the other intersection, the one that we just made on our new, what's going to be our new angle, and you swipe here. Okay, so again, with the needle set, you swipe with the pencil, and that intersection tells you how wide our angle should open. Okay, so at this point, you go back to the straight edge, you line up the straight edge with your vertex and through that new intersection point that you just made, and then with your pencil, you finish off the angle. Okay, and so that angle is opened pretty close, probably not exact because there's error in our devices, but pretty close to the same as the old angle. So that is the angle A has been copied here. All right, you can do something like this to show that those angles are the same.